So the three chakras that we're working on tonight are the first three. So what chakras are they're spinning wheels of energy. So chakra literally translates to wheel. Okay, so they are in your body, there's 7 of them, and they run along your spine. So they start at the base of your spine, which is right down in your pelvis, and they go all the way up to the top of your head. It was one that sits right here on the crown of your head. And each one does different things, and different issues that you have in your life are affected or affecting your chakras differently. So you really, what the chakras do is process energy, and then they spin and give off energy. So they're taking in energy and processing energy. And each chakra has a different job and a different thing that they govern in your life. And so looking and understanding this can make a huge difference. Now, your chakras can be healthy and in alignment, or they can be out of balance or out of alignment. And if you want to look at a really broad sort of covering all the bases, simplified way of understanding how chakras get out of line and how they work healthily, you can look at it this way. When you are being fueled, when your chakras are spinning and the energy center that each chakra has is being motivated and filled with the frequency of love, then they become in alignment completely. All right, so when love is fueling that chakra and making it spin, it's going to spin in alignment, and it's going to spin in alignment with each one, and it's going to create a lot of healthy, great balance in your life. When a chakra gets motivated and fueled and the frequency through the frequency of fear, then that chakra is going to get out of alignment, out of balance, and there's going to become a dis-ease in your body. It will come out of ease because of your chakras, and your body, your emotional state, and your spiritual state will all become a little bit out of alignment. So what you can do when you have an issue in one of the chakras is really look to see, where is fear getting in here, and how can I start to replace that with the energy of love instead? And I'll be real specific about that as we go through each chakra, but just as an overall look as to how to have healthy chakras, that's how. Now, let me also say that the energy of fear itself does not put your chakra out of alignment. But if you are using fuel to make your decisions, and you're using, using fear to make your decisions, and you're using fear to really dictate what you do and giving it a lot of control in your life and power, that's going to cause the chakras to become out of alignment. And depending on what areas of your body that's happening in, that's the chakra that's going to be affected. All right, so it's just like a broad way to look at chakras and what they do. Chakras are amazing. There's all this cool science that I really encourage you to look up about the energy and the frequencies of chakras and what they give out. And I love it when the medical and scientific community really start to come in and recognize these. It's slow going with the medical community, but they are starting to. There are doctors who will look at this stuff, and there's lots of studies to really start measuring the frequency in our bodies that are really starting to understand the chakras and what they do. So really cool stuff. If you ever want to look that up and learn more about that, I really encourage you to. I think it's fascinating. I'm kind of a metaphysical geek about stuff, but I really do encourage you to check that out. Hey, Kristen, I'm glad that you're here. So look into that stuff. If you find it and want to post it, if I come across some things, I'll post it, since we're really focusing on that this month. But chakras to me are fascinating. And when you understand your own chakras, and then you kind of understand how other people are operating, and kind of pick up, that sounds like a root chakra issue, or a crown chakra issue, or a heart or throat chakra issue. When you can start to recognize that, you become better at helping people, which is what us empathic people love to do, right? We really love to help people heal in whatever way they need to. All right, so let's start focusing on the root chakra. So I took some notes because I want to be consistent with how I go through these chakras and really give you similar information about each one. So forgive me for staring at notes. That's not really usually how I roll. I'm not like a stare at the notes kind of person, but I want to make sure I get this all in for you and really stay consistent on how I'm teaching you this. Please ask questions. I love questions. Questions are good. If I don't know the answer, like I said, I will research and get back to you. But chakras are something I know pretty well, and I get really excited about talking about them. Hey, Kim, glad that you're here. And I also have to give a little credit to Rosie Garcia Crescitilli, who is one of our rebels, who has put together a really cool thing about chakras and essential oils. And I use some of her information in what I'm teaching you today. So I wanted to tell you about that too. All right, so let's start with the root chakra. So the chakras are spinning wheels that start right at the base of your spine and go all the way up to the top of your head. And so your root chakra is located right at the base, the bottom of your spine, right in your pelvis. Okay, so the cool thing about the chakras too is that they are in the color of the rainbow. So this starts with red and goes all the way up to indigo. Hey, Maureen. So it's an easy way to remember which chakra is which color. They are the colors of the rainbow, starting at the bottom with red and going up to indigo. So your root chakra is represented by the color red and the element earth. Okay, so I'll get more into what you can do with those, because with each chakra, I'm going to give you things to do to balance them. But I just take that in for now. So the element is earth and the color is red for your root chakra. So, and it's located right at the base of your spine. And a really cool thing is that, Kristen, you might know this, but this is the cool thing for you too if you don't. Each chakra has a music note associated with it. So I grabbed that information for you too. So your root chakra's musical note is middle C. So another thing that you can do, and again, I'll get to this when I give you tips for balancing your chakras, is you can listen to that sound, which will help really go right, that frequency will go right into that chakra, which is, I think that's super cool. But again, I'm a geek for this kind of stuff. So this chakra develops while you are actually still in the womb, and up till you're about 1 year old. This is when this chakra is really doing most of its developing. So inside the belly, inside mom, connecting to mom, and then up until a year old, this chakra is in the process of really developing and really taking in information from the outside world. So whatever your experience was like, and you might have to go to your mom if that's an option for you to learn this when you were in the belly. You know, thinking about like what her pregnancy was like for her. Was it expected? Was it unexpected? Was it smooth sailing? Was she super sick? Was she making poor choices or good choices? And then what her process was like after she had you, and your connection to her up into a year old, and to other people, the other support people in your life. This is going to have an impact on how your root chakra operates. Now, the beautiful good news is that even if you had a rocky start and these things weren't great at building your root chakra up for you, they can always be corrected. Your chakras are always seeking balance. So you can always go back in and do things to put them into balance and to build them up and to make them more healthy and in line. Okay, does that make sense? So your root chakra has everything to do with survival. Okay, so your survival, and more specifically, your survival instincts. Okay, so if your parents were attentive to your needs as a child and really tuned into that, they were really helping build up your root chakra. If they weren't for whatever reason, then your root chakra may have had a little trouble growing. There may have been a struggle there without feeling like those needs were met. Because again, when you're a baby, when you're in the womb to age 1, you're really relying on your parents for that, right? So that's where that's going to come in. And then what you do now, how good you are at feeling like you could make yourself survive, like, and you can follow your instincts and know what you need to survive and trust that, listening to your intuition and going out and doing that is going to build a really strong, aligned, balanced root chakra. If you don't feel like you have the ability to survive and you're not feeling secure, if that's something that you seek, that's a very root chakra based thing, then your root chakra is going to be out of alignment, because it needs to feel like you have the power to help to make sure that you will survive, and that you can listen to your instincts and what your body needs from you, and what your mind needs from you, and what your emotions need from you, and what your spirit needs from you, and you can go out and make those things happen. That's all root chakra jobs, okay? Root chakra is also in charge of helping you feel grounded and rooted to your life, like an important player in your life. And like you're here, you're present, you're showing up every day in the world. That's root chakra, as well as grounded and connected and organized and getting yourself together and surviving well. Okay, makes sense. Now, I want to note that there is a interesting thing that some of us people who do this kind of work are starting to notice. And I brought this up to a few different practitioners. This is my thing. So let me just tell you that, like, I don't have chakra superstars telling me this, but just to give you this idea where the concept of rainbow babies being born typically have an issue, have like a little extra work to do on their root chakras. So what a rainbow baby is a baby that's born next after a miscarriage has happened. So I happen to be one of those kinds of babies. My mother miscarried before she had me, and I came along soon after. And so there seems to be a connection with rainbow babies in that term, needing to seek extra amounts of root chakra work. And we think that what's happening is the energy from the mama of losing that baby, think survival, right? Like the baby before us did not survive, that energy carries in and that we pick that up. And so we tend to seek more grounding. We we kind of need more of that in our lives. We need to do more work to keep ourselves that way and to make ourselves feel really stable and good and okay. To move through life than maybe people who didn't. So just an interesting tidbit if you are one, or if you have a child that is a rainbow baby, then just consider that and see if you notice any connection to that. I know it's very true for me. I actually realized the concept in a session with someone when they were like from the angels, when they were talking about their child who also was a rainbow baby, and they were describing a lot of things similar to me. So that's when I started to go out and see if this was an across the board thing. So just an interesting thing to note and to look at. And you can let me know if you're one or if you know one, if that seems true for you. I would love to hear that. I would love to know if that's true. So this chakra, Maureen says you're a rainbow baby. Is that true for you? Is that true for you, Maureen? I would love to know that. Like, are you somebody who needs, like me, who needs to do like extra things to stay grounded, and who that's really important to? So people who are always seeking extra grounding also really like big tall trees. We like to be around them. We like to be in the woods and the forest. It makes us feel more comfortable and more grounded, and we're always seeking those kinds of things. So I'd love to know if that's true for you too, Maureen. And Kristen said, Amy asked me to do her feet again today. Yes. Again, that extra grounding, and that would make sense, Kristen. And Maureen said yes. So yeah, just a theory I'm floating out there that I've noticed in doing the work I do, and then being one myself, being able to kind of put those pieces together. I think that's interesting, and I think that makes sense. And I think it's also powerful to realize that, when you go into pregnancy, like really all of the energy that you're bringing is having such a big effect on that baby. And so that might feel intimidating if you're a mom, right? Like, oh gosh, now I also have to keep track of that. But also that some of this stuff isn't even ours. Like we're fighting through and doing things because of outside things. And to me, that's a little bit comforting. Like not just a crazy person who needs extra grounding. Like there's additional reasons, right? And I think it's good to understand that stuff so that if we know like, oh my gosh, this child's a rainbow child, they're going to need extra grounding in their life, to be able to seek that out for them, I think is really, really helpful, to be able to help them find that, right? Makes sense? So your root chakra also governs your role and your place in your family. So whatever you associated growing up with your role in your family, like what was it? Hey, Stacey, what was it that you part did you play in your family? What did they need you to do? What did you show up as? Were you the one that made everyone laugh? The cute little one? Were you the one that was organized and all together, the oldest one keeping track of everything? Were you always trying to do everything right? Were you the one who rebelled against everything? Like what was the role that you picked? And looking at how that's affected your life, because that's all associated right down in your root chakra, okay? Your ability to make decisions based on your needs. So how good are you at saying, you know what, I need a drink of water. Would you get up and get that water? Or would you be like, you know what, I got 20 other things to do. I can't go get water right now. Or I don't need that water. Who cares? Yeah, you do need that water. And do you go and get it? Do you really go seek the things that your instincts and your body and you physically need to survive? Or are you going and seeking those things? And is that easy for you or difficult for you? All root chakra stuff. So if you struggle to meet your own needs here in this realm, and we're going to talk about emotional needs next, that's in the next chakra, then this is coming from here, those basic survival needs. If you struggle there, if you're someone who struggles with self-care in this department of like physical stuff, like really making sure you're healthy and okay, this is root chakra issues and root chakra stuff, Okay. So if your root chakra is healthy and balanced and in alignment, you're going to be able to feel really present. Okay. Grounded is another way that you'll feel secure, stable, firmly rooted, powerful enough to keep yourself alive on your own, loving the support of other people. That's in the next chakra, but you know you could take care of yourself. You can rely on other people, but you don't have to. That's all root chakra stuff. Now, if your root chakra is out of balance and out of alignment, you're going to feel like you're really ruled by the past, and like your past pain is always coming up to haunt you. Okay. That's a root chakra out of alignment issue. Fear and anxiety being really present, root chakra issues, having trouble keeping and creating boundaries. This is a root and on to the next chakra, sacral chakra issue as well, but the boundaries are definitely rooted in the root chakra. And also being organized. If you're disorganized all the time and scattered, this is coming back down to your root chakra. That's where that issue is. Okay, so here are some things that you can do. So my root chakra just told me that I need water. Get it, right? There we go, balanced root chakra. Here are some things you can do to help your root chakra out. Now, I really suggest taking a day, take a few days, and do something for each chakra. So maybe tomorrow you can do some of the things for the root chakra. I think that would really make a big difference, and notice what affects it and what works really well for it. So something simple as wearing the color red, or having, look, I have red on to represent the root chakra, or having the color red around you, like getting a bright red notebook, or choosing a red purse or a bag to carry for the day, or making your background on your phone or your computer red. Anything where you're really seeing and processing red a lot will help that chakra strengthen and come back into alignment. Simple, easy, red. Grab a fabulous red dress and rock it. Have red around you, and that's going to definitely help. Okay, that's going to definitely bring that in. You can rewrite your roots story. So the imagery that I like to have people connect when they're working on their root chakra is literally roots. Remember, the element for this chakra is earth. So seeing roots and thinking about your roots, think about what your story is. Like, write down your story about how your root chakra was formed and what your roots were like. And if it's not a powerful story, rewrite it to be. You don't have to lie. You just need to shift your mindset around what this chakra is saying about you. So let's say that, when you were 6 months old, your parents got divorced, and that's had a big effect on your root chakra, because that's right when that was developing, and that feeling like you had the survival instincts was tough. Or maybe your mom was super sick after she had you in the hospital and she almost died and she didn't get to hold you for 2 weeks. Your root chakra is going to be affected. So instead of saying and having a story that's like, oh my God, my root chakra had, this terrible thing happened to me, got right out of alignment as soon as I was born because my mom was sick, or this happened. Take that story and write about why it made your root chakra stronger. So it was out of alignment right as a baby, and I had to fight quickly to get it back into alignment and grab some of my old tools. And as a result, once my mother was better, she really went out of her way to create that stability, or that stability was never there for me, so I had to create it myself. Therefore, I'm great at having a strong root chakra because I have those tools. Really create a positive mindset around the chakra and look at what the story is. Bring awareness to that, and then shift it if you need to. Okay, make sense? Let's see. You can also focus on intuition, like building your intuition up and meeting your own needs. So really let's say tomorrow is your root chakra day. You're going to wear red. You're going to surround yourself with red background on your phone, red fingernails if you want, red jewelry, red bag, all of those things, and just have red everywhere if you can. You can also work on really tuning in to what your body's asking you for. So if it's asking you for more water, you're going to really focus on making sure you're meeting that need and what that process is like. If your body's asking you for more water and you're like, forget the water, let's have more coffee, note that. Be like, I'm not listening and I'm replacing. I'm not actually doing what my intuition and my instincts are telling me. Pay close attention to that and try to make some shifts in that. Just that little bit of attention and work will really help your root chakra to get back into alignment. And then lastly, connecting to your body and using root visualization is going to help you. So what you can do is you can sit eyes open or closed, whatever works for you. I like to close my eyes because I'm very visual, so I like to imagine, but whatever works for you. And just imagine that you have roots that grow out of your legs and go down through the earth and dig down all the way down into the center, and feel yourself really, really connected to the earth. If you can, go outside and hug a tree. Be that person. My neighbors must think I'm crazy because before I go for my runs in the morning, I go and I put my hands on a tree and I just feel the grounded energy. It helps me so much. So do things like that where you're really feeling that connection, all right? Put your bare feet on the ground, in the dirt, and that's going to really have a big impact on really feeling like you're building up the root chakra. Okay? Make sense? All right. If you have questions, ask away. I'm going to move on to the sacral chakra, but I will go back to each one and answer any questions that you want me to. Okay, so your sacral chakra is the next chakra. It's chakra number 2, and it is located right at kind of like the underneath your belly button, like right above your pubic bone. It's right in between those two. So your navel chakra, I don't know if you can see. Your navel chakra is like right at your belly button, and so your sacral is right here, and your root is right down here. Hopefully you can see me. So your sacral chakra, remember we're going through the colors of the rainbow, is orange. And the element for your sacral chakra is water. And the musical note, if you want to know that, is D. Okay. And this governs relationships with who you are in the world and also your emotional needs. This is all based right in the sacral chakra. And this develops between 6 months and 2 years old. This is when that really starts to develop in your body and in your soul and all that good stuff, right in between 6 months and 2 years. Now, these are broad ranges. You could have been a baby that was like 6 months and 1 day and boom, sacral chakra is fully developed. Or you could be a little over 2 years before it does. But just in general, that's when those develop in the body, okay? So this governs your relationship to money, to things, and to people, creativity and sexuality, emotional intelligence, and your intuition for meeting your own emotional needs. Okay. So remember, when things are fear-based, your chakras are out of alignment. And when they're intuitive-based, intuition-based, and love-based, they're back in alignment. So we'll go through after I'm done and I'll give you examples with each chakra. But if those things are happening to you, if any of those things are off in your life, if you can go back and add more love-based language and mindset and emotion to that and goals and plans, you're going to make a big difference in that. Okay. So someone with a healthy sacral chakra is going to be able to express and meet their emotional needs pretty easily. Okay. So if you are someone who has trouble being like, this is empaths usually struggle with this. Okay. This chakra gets a little wonky for them because it's also where you take in other people's feelings and energy and emotional needs. You also take in that from other people here as well. So we tend to have clogged up second chakras. Whoa, right? So if you are able to be like, you know what, I feel like this, and I need you to do this to support me in feeling this way. If those are easy words for you to say, your sacral chakra, boom, it is rocking and is in alignment. If that's hard, if you feel like you're closed off to others, you have trouble expressing your emotional needs and what you need, you have trouble asking people to meet them, then chances are it's a little bit unbalanced. Also, if you have like unhealthy attachment, codependent relationships, emotional feelings are kind of like out of control or suppressed, this is all stuff that happens here in your sacral chakra. Okay? Makes sense? So what you can do to balance your sacral chakra, wear orange. Same thing. Surround yourself with orange. Look at orange, background on your phone, a beautiful orange picture or flower, any of that stuff, have that color around you. Obviously, listen to that musical note. Like Kristen plays the crystal bowls, and different bowls can be aligned for each chakra because they play those certain musical notes that the frequency hits them. Okay, so you can do that. And you can also use water imagery. So we're with the root chakra, we're using the roots to dig down into the earth. With the sacral chakra, you're going to use water. So you're going to imagine floating in a body of water. And you can imagine floating in whatever you want, whether it's on a tube or a float or a raft or a boat or whatever you're floating in. And I want you to just pay attention to what the water is like. Is the water choppy and fast and just taking you wherever and you're just along for the ride trying to survive and not fall off? Is it stagnant, not moving, no life in it, not bubbling, just really stagnant, you're not going anywhere? Or is it in balance? Is it flowing nicely? And you know where you're going, but you're also in the flow of it. You're steering whatever you're on, and you can go in the direction you want, but you're in flow. Or are you trying to swim against the tide here in the water? Just see what that looks like. That's going to tell you a lot about this chakra. So you can align it by really working on imagining being in that peaceful place in the flow where the water is moving at a really great, even, easy pace, and that you are in the flow and traveling with it. You're not doing a lot of work to get there, but that you're steering as you get there and making decisions as to what direction you're going in. That's a great way to balance that. Drinking extra water is great. Going for a swim, taking a bath, any of that stuff where you're surrounding yourself with water, really great for the sacral chakra. You can also do affirmations about being in the flow. That word really connects to your sacral chakra. And then you can also do some work on expressing your emotional needs. Try it. See how it goes. Do it with your safe people. Pick a fellow rebel and be like, hey, so, tomorrow's root chakra day, but then the next day is sacral chakra day. So how about we connect 3 times and express emotional needs to each other and see how that goes. All right. Like practice that and work through how that feels. Okay. If you struggle with that, if there's a lot of fear around that for you, it just means that chakra is out of alignment. It needs a little bit more power and love-based energy to really get it going. Okay. And again, I'll give you specific examples after I'm through each one. All right, the last one that we're going to talk about tonight is the third chakra, the solar plexus chakra, which is located right here, right in your solar plexus, right underneath, kind of like the breastbone here is where this one lives. So let me listen to my root chakra and drink some water. Heal the throat chakra. We'll get to that. The throat and heart have their own day because they're intense. But my throat chakra appreciates that. My root chakra is telling me to drink water too. You'll understand that more and think it's funny when we get to throat chakra day. So your solar plexus is the color yellow, right? Red, orange, yellow. We're at that. And the musical note is E. And the element for this one is fire. Okay, so this is your confidence and feeling powerful in the world. Confidence, self-esteem, feeling like you can connect to other people and empower them, but also be powerful yourself at the same time. This all lives right here in your solar plexus chakra. So a healthy solar plexus chakra feels empowered to take action. Okay, so what is it that you want in your life? Can you take action to get it? All right. So your root chakra's job is to make sure that you're listening to your intuition and your instincts to survive. Okay. And then so it's very rooted in your body. Your sacral chakra's job is, are you listening to your emotional needs and are you able to express them in order to have really great, healthy connections with other people? All right. Now your solar plexus job is to be, are you powerful in the world? Can you own your power and can you use your power to empower others without sacrificing your power to give someone else some power? Can you do all of that? And can you express that? And can you, for whatever you want in your life and whatever you need, can you take action towards getting it? So recognizing that you have these intuitive needs is one thing, but taking action and going for them and making them happen and feeling like you can do that is another thing. And that's where this chakra really comes into play. Now, each chakra affects the other. So if one's out of line, they're all going to get, they're all going to get wonky. So let's say that your root chakra and your sacral chakra are like clear, aligned, healthy, bright. They're rock star chakras. But we get to the solar plexus chakra and it's way out of line. There's just like tons of issues here. What's going to happen is the other 2 chakras are going to become out of line. They're going to be affected because you're not going to be powerful enough to take action to go get that sip of water when your root chakra gives you the heads up, or to express that emotional need. You're not going to be able to create a plan to do that because the taking action part is going to fall apart for you here at the solar plexus chakra. Make sense? Feeling like you are a good manifester and that you can create whatever you need in your life right here. Also boundaries, we talked about those with the root chakra, they also bleed right into here, and not just knowing you need them, which is a root chakra thing, but being able to follow through with them, very much a solar plexus chakra. and that you are your own source of power. You don't need other people to constantly validate you or make you feel a certain way that's lacking. You feel like you're powerful enough to do that, and other people can support that. That's all healthy solar plexus activity. And then an unbalanced one, there's always this digestive issues here, a victim mentality, feeling powerless. And then also the other side of that is people who try to go for a false sense of power, which is having power over people instead of using your power to empower, right? So people who are doing like manipulative behavior or who are maybe violent or hurt other people, it's because of their solar plexus chakra is way out of whack. That's where that all lives, okay? So things you can do, again, you can wear yellow, surround yourself with yellow, phone background, paint your nails, grab something that you're always looking at, dress that way where you're wearing yellow, that's gonna help. Listen to the music note E, gonna help. Fire, have a fire, go outside and sit by the fire, sit inside by the fire. Using fire imagery. So what you can do is you can do a visualization or a meditation where you imagine a little tiny fire, like a little thing with a few flames on it. And imagine it goes from the top of your head and it slowly goes to each part of your body and it just lights it up with that fire. And just let it go where it needs to go and feel that warmth come in. And that's going to really help balance your solar plexus chakra. Having pictures of fire, backgrounds that have to do with fire on your phone, anything like that, also going to be very helpful for this chakra. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of imbalance in each one and some examples of that. So in your root chakra, if you are coming from a place where fear is motivating in your root chakra, you're going to always be worried about surviving. Okay, so you are someone whose root chakra is out of balance. Fear is really generating its spinning instead of love. So there's a lot of worry, like, am I going to have enough money to pay my bills to be able to eat? Am I going to be able to find what I need? Am I going to be able to sleep tonight in a warm place? If my husband leaves me or my wife leaves me, am I going to be able to support the family? All root chakra based, anything to do with survival is here. So if it's fear based causing it to spin, it's going to become really out of alignment and you're going to have trouble spinning. But if you're doing it love based, then it's going to make a big difference. So if you do little shifts like, I'm going to focus this energy in my root chakra on, I am powerful enough to make stuff survive, and I'm going to make sure I survive out of love for myself, out of love for my family, out of love for other people. So I'm going to do things to create that, and looking at, like, look at all these things I do to help my children survive, or my friends survive, or my spouse, or whatever, my neighbor. I do these things to help support their survival, and therefore I know that I'm powerful enough to make myself survive out of love for life and love for the people I take care of. I meet these needs. So if my body tells me I need a drink of water, instead of going from fear-based, which would be you need to drink water or you're going to get sick and feel tired or ill or have wrinkly skin or whatever, right? That would be fear-based, making that chakra be motivated to spin. If you switch it to love and it just says something like, oh, I need a drink of water, I want to make sure I get that so that I'm operating at my best self and I'm healthy and feeling great so that I can be there and do what I need to do for other people and feel good myself at the same time. That's that little shift that makes that chakra spin in a healthy, happy direction. Make sense? All right. Examples for sacral chakra. So if your sacral chakra is being motivated by fear, if there's a lot of fear creeping in and going on here, you're really worried about what's going to happen if you express your emotional needs to people. Or you're worried what's going to happen if you don't express your emotional needs to people. And usually if you have abandonment issues, they get really rooted here. Your root chakra is going to have an effect on that for sure. But if you're worried people are going to leave because you're expressing emotions, then you have an imbalance here in your sacral chakra. Okay. So looking at that and actually making some shifts and saying things like, when I express my needs kindly and ask someone to meet them, it strengthens my bond with them. And really looking at that and having that motivation, be like, you know what, I owe it to myself because I love myself and I love these other people. I want more authentic, strong connections with them. So I'm going to really try to work on expressing myself and telling people my emotional needs and asking them to meet it or telling them when they're not meeting it. I'm going to do that to increase that out of love. Make sense? Little switcherooski there. All right, so then our last one, for example, the solar plexus chakra. So when this is healthy, you feel like power, like you love yourself and you love the world and your purpose in the world. So this spins from a place of being motivated of, I need to show up and be powerful in the world so that I can help others be powerful as well. That's like a very healthy solar plexus chakra statement. One that wouldn't be so healthy, where it would be fear-based, would be, I'm afraid of my power. I have to move out of the way of my power. My power causes bad things, or I need to use power to have power over people so that people don't leave me or reject me. Okay, so those would be unhealthy. Now, something that's really interesting is that people who have issues in a chakra tend to attract other people who have the same, they have the same chakra with issues. So let me say that better. If you have root chakra issues, you tend to attract people who have root chakra issues. Same with sacral and same with solar plexus. So let's say, for example, you have a weak solar plexus going on. It's out of alignment and it needs to be brighter and spinning better. And let's say that you're afraid of your own power. You are afraid to be powerful and to express yourself and to go out into the world and be an empowered version of yourself. You're afraid to take action, what that's going to mean if you do, or you think taking action isn't going to do any good. You're going to attract people with solar plexus chakra issues. But here's the kicker. You tend to attract people with solar plexus issues that are on the opposite side of where your issue is. So you tend to attract, if that's how you feel powerless, you tend to attract people with that false sense of power, where they feel like they have to have power over people and they're manipulative and sometimes violent and abusive. You're going to attract those kind of people to you because it's sort of like a overcorrection, if you will, of the chakra's energy. And instead of moving to love and attracting someone who has more love-based energy in that chakra, you're going to attract someone with fear-based energy that's the opposite of you. Okay, so that's like what your ego does. It sidesteps what you need to do. So just interesting to look at. Do you know people like that? People who naturally have trouble with power and feel powerless, attracting people who feel powerless but choose to have power over people to try to compensate. It's still fear-based, right? Noticing those things, I think, is fascinating. Same with the root chakra. If you tend to have, maybe, you know, you didn't have a great, strong family life growing up, you will probably attract someone in the root chakra world whose family was too overbearing to them. All right. So really looking at that and seeing that you're attracting people with the same chakra issues, but that they're on different sides of the spectrum can be really eye-opening, because you want to, instead of staying in that fear-based and attracting that to try to correct, you want to try to move to love-based. Okay, so going, what can I do to shift into a more love-based energy here in this chakra, instead of staying in the fear and attracting people in with opposite fear issues in that chakra? Does that make sense?